that's why I should be studying, but like almost every Buddhist text has prayers for the teachers or a Buddha, praises to a Buddha, and then why you should be studying this text. Like everything is spelled out plainly. Like, why would a person even want to study this text? Because this. And number one, it's the only way to enter the Mahayana. Big deal. But the point, it's the Mahayana means Buddhahood, meaning perfecting your mind and perfecting your paradise, your eventual paradise. Meaning that without that great kind of wish to enlightenment for all, like taking everybody with you to saving them, you ain't going to get out of samsara, and you ain't going to get omniscience. And then it's a little bit hokey. Number two is the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas see you as their sons and daughters. And it sounds like you're going for, we were talking about going for refuge. That when you run to your mommy and daddy, and it's very comforting. But when we do Sojong, monk Sojong. Sojong is vow purification for monks every 2 weeks. You go and you confess it's like a very formalized, you go through everything, like pillaging, killing, it's like, I've done it all and I'm sorry. And you look around at the monks in the room and you're like, none of these guys even breathe on people wrong, like they're, but you do it to purify your mind. And I thought we call the Buddhas at the beginning of it. The Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times, past, present, and future, everywhere. And for years I had a big problem with that, but I think I was listening to a song from a band called Incubus of all names, and metal band, and they're like, your reality, the chart on the electromagnetic spectrum says that you only taste, touch, smell, hear 1/1,000,000th of known reality, or some kind of like, and I'm like, yeah, who am I in my haughtiness to believe that if I don't see a Buddha, they're not here. They've made a pact. They made a pact with beings. You call them and they appear. You get to a certain level and you can actually speak to them. Until then, you got to work with the teachers, But at a certain point in your practice, you see it in the lives of every great saint. And some people dismiss it as mental illness or something, but at some point, they're sitting there with deities. At some point, they're sitting there with teachers. And how do I know that, I only see very gross reality. I know that like the little dragonflies out there see a whole different perception of reality. They will see colors and I think things that I can't see. How can I discount that reality? It's the same thing like about Buddhas. So these Buddhas are out there, and when you generate bodhicitta, then they're like, whoa, look at that one. That one's promising. Whoa, wow, another one. And it reminds me of the X-Men movies where the mutants can be like, they had a machine, Cerebro, that could find the mutants. And like when they found like a mutant, they'd be like a big thing of the earth, big computer generated screen of the earth, and then you'd see like lights go off. And then, we found, some more mutants because they gave off a certain energy, pattern. And that's what I sort of think this is. When you get bodhicitta in your heart, the Buddhas are like, whoa, we got to keep an eye on this one. Didn't see that one. When that happens to me, they'll be like, didn't see that one coming with this guy. And then they say you will surpass listeners, people, and Pratyeka Buddhas. Pratyeka Buddhas are called Buddhas, but they're not Buddhas. They're Buddhas that don't have teachers. They've achieved a very high level realization. They've had teachers in previous lives, but they don't take on teachers. They're not technically Buddhas. Listeners can hear the teachings, but cannot put them into practice. I was a listener for many, many, many years. Loved to listen to Buddhist classes, loved to have the cookies, loved to sit there and listen to the dakinis talk, But when it came to actually sitting down and doing my meditation, and there's always something better on TV. So until you get to a point in your meditation where it is better than TV, and that takes a while. So number 4, this is like the top, top 10. This is like a David Letterman. Number 4 is top 10 reasons why you should study Bodhichitta. Is you will be a high object of worthy of reverence from all the beings, and it's so rare that people get this kind of mind, and that's why we the Italians that I grew up in talked about Jesus like that, and when you said, I remember I'd be like, Jesus Christ, and I get smacked, because they still remember, they may have a convoluted understanding of Catholicism or Christianity, but they still understood what that guy did. If he did what he did, for all, take away people's suffering, that's the most, that we all want to be like that. Really, once you get past the pain and the anguish and the suffering that you really do people have put you through in this life, you really do want to help everybody. There is a part of us that would really like to be blissful and loving, and wanting to take care of all people. Yeah, for all, wanting to take care of people. You can easily accumulate great merit. Merit is virtue. The way it goes down is that Sunam Gitsok, which is the collection of merit, that produces the Buddha's physical form. There are many different types of Buddha bodies. You can teach it the 2, the 3, the 4, 2 or 3 or 4 method. There aren't actually Buddha bodies, but these are aspects of what the experience of being a Buddha would be like. Shakyamuni's time, the Mahayana, Shakyamuni or Gautama, or however you call him, the Mahayana Buddhists believe that he was emanated from a Buddha in a paradise. He, kind of like Jesus coming from God. God created a son that was Jesus. A Buddha in a paradise felt that beings, there wasn't even any volition in that Buddha in this paradise. There's an omniscient being, he knows all phenomena, very compassionate being in their paradise. They're experiencing a paradise where there is nothing like what we are suffering. It's very difficult for them even to communicate with us, but they have it in their nature that when people are ripe enough to hear the Dharma, to be helped, then they kind of they truku. You hear this name a lot in Tibetan communities. He's a truku, he's a tuku, he's a tuku. These are reincarnate lamas, people who've reincarnated from previous. But the Chukki truku is the actual Shakyamuni Buddha. He's the truku. He came down to earth and turned the wheel of the Dharma, meaning gave the teachings to people when they were ripe for these teachings. And so if you're not at a certain level, you can't, it's like the Buddha would be talking to you and be like, what's this crazy talk this guy's talking to me about? They believe that eventually in this world that the Buddha's teachings will be just they'll have books around, but they'll be like, these people believed this at one time, 10,000 years ago, but we don't even have the mind for it anymore because that karma finished. Even the Buddha's teachings in this world will finish. So you accumulate, getting bodhicitta in your heart, you accumulate great merit. And that kind of great merit produces the physical, blissful, perfect form of a Buddha. In the teachings, they say the actual 32 minor marks and a bunch of marks of a Buddha. They actually did believe that at one time in ancient India, that if you had the certain marks of a Buddha, then you were a Buddha. If you had long ears, if you had blue eyes, if you had black hair, if you had